Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cassidy. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my videos. Today's vlog, we are participating in Taterthon. Taterthon is a 72-hour readathon hosted by my friend Lexi from Books with Lexi over on her Patreon. Kind of like a choose your own adventure style readathon, but it's based on Mr. Potato Head. So Lexi made us this beautiful graphic that has choices for us to make to build our potato and give him accessories like you do a Mr. Potato Head. And so for the next 72 hours, this graphic and my potato will be choosing what I read. I'm very excited. I'm technically doing this a little bit late. It ran from Friday to Sunday, but I ran mine from Sunday to Tuesday because I still wanted to participate, but weekends are a little bit hard for me and my reading personally with the lifestyle I live. If you don't already subscribe to Lexi, you definitely should. I love Lexi, and I'm excited to see what other 72-hour or 24 or 48 readathons we have over on her Patreon. Continue watching because I read some books. I read some books. See you shortly. Okay guys, it's Taterthon, and if you don't know what Taterthon is, the intro probably explained it to you because I'm filming the intro later. But I have a decision to make. Yes, I have my little potato here. I have to choose what hat I want. So we have a cute little beanie or toque. I would say probably more of a toque. Or this like sun hat. This is the only choice that I'm making based on the book because today is Sunday the 19th and the Late Night Crew unofficial book club pick is Amina Al-Sarafi and we are reading Match Day on Sprints to its completion. So, also I'm starting Taterthon late. Lexi can at me if she wants, but I don't think she will. So I am going to be picking the Sun Hat just because it is a previous 5-star author and this is a new author. And S.A. Chakraborty is an author I have loved and given 5 stars. I love the David Bad trilogy. So my little potato is getting a little sun hat like that on him. And while I have you guys, I have technically started Amina. I'm a chapter in and I'm really unsure about it. I'm actually really scared to read Amina because of how much I do love the David Bad trilogy, and also because within this first chapter we kind of have like a quirky narrator telling her story. It's kind of like a storyteller vibe, and I have been burned by this type of narrative style a few times. I mean, there's also ones that I like that are someone telling their story, but I think the addedness of like quirkiness tends to burn me, and I'm scared, but I'm really hopeful. I don't really have anything else to say about the book, but I do have a TikTok trend to try, and I'm also currently, you heard the oven beep, making brie for a snack. But let's get the TikTok trend going. I'm gonna try the viral like fruit roll up and ice cream thing, and I'm excited. I don't know if it's going to be life-changing, but like I hope it is. So you take like fruit roll up, and we're gonna unroll it. Oh my god, it's stuck. Don't stick. Some like lady started this and she says she has like one like every Saturday. But like, how do you control yourself? Like, if this is delicious, I'm eating this whole box of fruit roll-ups in like a day with ice cream. No ifs, ands, or buts. Oh no, it's stuck on this side, but I think that's fine. So you're gonna unroll this and put it down your surface. Then we'll take the ice cream. I saw a lot of people do this with like strawberry or like mango ice cream, but I'm not the biggest fruit fan, so I got a vanilla ice cream. Fun fact, run your spoon under hot water if you want a better scoop, but I'm not using an ice cream scoop, I'm using a regular spoon. And then we're just putting our ice cream like in the middle of that, and we're gonna roll it up. I might have put too much ice cream. Oh my god, it's getting crispy so quickly. Okay. And then it's supposed to make your ice cream, your fruit roll up like instantly like crispy and crunchy. And I think it is. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. I'm excited. Look at that. Look at that. Honestly, I'm a fan. Only problem I have with it, oh my god, the fruit roll up stuck in my teeth now though, is any spots where the ice cream doesn't touch is still chewy, so that's like in my teeth. And I'm not the biggest like biter into my ice cream, and you do have to bite into it. But I think the vanilla with like the fruitiness of the roll up, it's such a fun like ice cream sandwich style thing. Honestly, such a fan. Now I'm gonna continue reading. Hello, I am 48% in, so we'll call it 50%, into the adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. I needed a pick-me-up. Sadly, I'm really not loving this book. If you don't know, The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi follows Amina, who is a retired pirate captain. She's supposed to be like this badass pirate who retired, I said that earlier, and she's had a family and now she is just kind of like living her life, but when someone comes to her with a deal that she can't resist, she comes out of retirement in order to try to find this person for these people to get like the money reward, if that makes sense. Because if you don't know, S.A. Chakraborty, or Shannon Chakraborty, is the author of the Daevabad trilogy, which starts with City of Brass, which is one of my all-time favorite trilogies. Like, I'm obsessed with that trilogy. It's one of my favorites. This, like Daevabad, is set in our world, but where Daevabad explores the magical lore and these creatures and a city called Daevabad that doesn't actually exist in our world, like, realistically, this really takes on the historical aspects. It is so far at 50% in. I think I'm just about to come to like a demon character, but there hasn't been a lot of fantasy added to this. It feels very much like an alternate history or just a historical setting, which is not something I love. If you have been on this channel, you know I really, really despise historical fiction. I find it really boring, and it also just takes me out of the vibe. I think Daevabad is one of the only series that I like that actually happens within our world. I am not an urban setting. I find that if you want me to believe in the fantasy elements, I need it to all be fantastical in ways. So yeah, which is hilarious because technically the Poppy War is my favorite trilogy and it is kind of historical, but it, like Daevabad, plays a fictional world very well that just takes inspiration from history, even though Daevabad is more set in our world than the Poppy War is. I don't know how I'm explaining this, but essentially I'm just bored and I don't really care about the characters. We do have an older protagonist and I'm not sure that works for me necessarily, just because I think I like to see my protagonist kind of become who they are, and this feels a lot more tell, not show, as we're just talking about her past and how that's made her who she is, but we're not really being shown her past at all, which also means we're not being shown who she is personality-wise. Like, we're told she's this badass pirate, but we don't get to see a scene of this really, so it kind of just feels like we're going from point A to point B to point C to point D and doing a lot of talking and not a lot of action and not a lot of like personality building. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of character dimension. I think because of who she is, she's kind of like already become the character she's meant to be, but I like to see character development in my stories. So yeah, not 100% sure this is working for me, but I will keep you updated. It really sucks when a 5-star author, because I picked it for that prompt, is not another 5-star, because I definitely know this isn't a 5-star for me. I will be lucky if it hits a 3. So, but like, we're reading it for Late Night Crew, and a lot of people in the comments are enjoying it, so please still pick it up if you're interested. It's a very not a book for me. I'm going to keep you updated, though, to see what the ending is like, because I've heard the fantasy comes in at the end. Hi! Welcome to the room I never show you, but as summer starts to come, my parents are big gardeners, and we have a room that becomes a giant, like, greenhouse. So we have a bunch of peppers and stuff already started, and this is what this is over here. And there's also one that you're kind of, like, on right now. But I figured it was kind of like a fun little thing to show you, and maybe this year, if I'm good at it, I'll show you the garden like as it progresses. My parents are wild. There is a lot of gardening that happens here, but we pretty much eat homegrown stuff all summer long, especially tomatoes, because I eat tomatoes like apples, so we grow a lot of tomatoes for myself. Yeah, so it is kind of fun to see, so I figured maybe I would show you some, but these are just like what's started. Anyways, I finished Amina al-Sarafi last night, and I sadly didn't love this one. But for me, the magic in this came after 50% in, and it was just far too late for me. I had already lost my enjoyment. I'd lost my attention because I don't like historical fiction. This kind of like setting, this kind of like slowness vibe doesn't work for me. And I also don't like adventure stories. One of the biggest complaints I have in classic fantasy in general is the concept of we go this place, we have a small trial, we go this place, we do the same small trial, we have this place, we have a slightly different small trial, we go to this place, and it just gets very repetitive for me and I get very bored of it really quickly, which is something the story did. On top of that, I just wanted Amina to be a more fleshed out character. I felt like, hear me out, because she's an older protagonist, a lot of her character is already created. She is already the woman that she's going to become. Now, I don't think this works for me because I felt like we lost seeing character development moments because she was already a character. Now, this doesn't mean that all older protagonists don't work for me. Eska worked for me in the last couple books, but I do like to see someone like earn their stripes, earn their badges. I would have liked to see moments of her like showing off who the character that she is. She just felt very like one-dimensional to me and who she is, and I wanted to see more almost of her past and of who she is and how she became this badass pirate, although I don't think she was a badass pirate in this. But yeah, I wanted a better character. I loved the David Bad trilogy characters, and this one just felt really flat for me. Yeah, I think that's all that I really need to say. It just didn't work for me. I understand why other people are going to love it. A lot of people are. Her writing is very strong. I ended up giving the book a 2 stars. Just my enjoyment just wasn't there. But anyways, let's just move on to what we have to do next. Got my little potato. He now has his hat, and I gave him eyeballs. I should probably give him arms and legs at some point, but I'm lazy right now. But we need to choose what accessory he gets. So he's gonna get a purse, and we have 2 purses to choose from. So on the path I'm on, there are 2 different types of purses. This one is a cover without people, and then this one is a cover without buildings. So I'm technically supposed to be buddy reading this with Emma. So I think I'm gonna choose Dragon Quest, which fits for both prompts. It is a cover without people and a cover without buildings. There's a dragon on it though, so normally, oh, there is a person on it. I lied, because there's a person riding the dragon. So I have to go with a cover without buildings. So, to be honest, this is what I was picking anyways, because I really like this little briefcase guy. So, let's give my little potato his briefcase, even though he hasn't technically earned it yet. There we go. It's just like sticking out of him. And I can actually tell you, because technically I have started this, my initial thoughts on it. Dragon Quest is the second book in the Dragon Riders of Pern series. I read Dragon Flight last year. It was a 5-star read for me. I really enjoyed it. This is like a classic about a world where there's these things that are kind of falling on the planet and killing them, and the Dragon Riders have to defend them, but the Dragon Riders have kind of lost their like prestige and don't really have enough abilities to protect mankind currently. So there's like a whole issue that they have to figure out. So far in this book, I'm really not far in. I'm chapter 5, I think I'm just starting. Oh, maybe I'm farther in than I thought I was. Okay, I'm like 130 pages into this, which is not bad. I'm really bored right now. So far this is a lot of like political maneuvering, but not a lot of political action. We have our characters kind of doing what they do within the Weir. It feels very slice of life. We're watching like the discussions all these rulers have as like political rulers, but then we're watching our main character go out on the dragon and see like what a scouting mission looks like, but with like not a lot of action. We're just kind of like in the day-to-day vibes of our main character so far, which I'm not loving, but hopefully it will get better. I'm not far enough in, and I will hopefully finish this today so that tomorrow and the last day can be for the last book. Yeah. My ear is ringing. Oh, why? Okay. I finished Dragon Quest. I was gonna call it Dragon Flight. I always call every single book in the series Dragon Flight. I didn't like it. I didn't update you at all because I didn't like it. Ugh, I hate not liking books, but like, I just don't like books a lot of the time. I don't know what's wrong with me sometimes, because like the first book in the series is 5 stars, so how does the second book get a 1 star from me? I just really found this book very boring, and there wasn't a lot of intrigue in it. Where the first one we had the intrigue of like learning about the dragons and the dragon riders and learning about the world and the issues that are happening with the world, learning there, and we had like these characters that we were getting to know that I really enjoyed, and we just had more like scenes of action, I think, within that story. This one has, I think, very much middle book syndrome. There was a lot of political maneuvering in this, but not the political maneuvering I like. Mel praised this the other day, and I'm paraphrasing her on it, and I don't like politics where it's just people talking about what they're going to do. I want to see the action. So in this book, there's a lot of conversations about what we should be doing, what we need to do, what is happening. I would rather actually be out in the field seeing these things happen and then have a conversation about like, okay, maybe we need to make these steps, and then seeing them implement these things and do these things. I wanted to see how the threads were affecting us, how we dealt with the threads. I didn't just want to hear about it the entire time. And also, I don't know, there was a lot of character jumping around in the story as well compared to the first one, and I didn't like that. I would rather stick with like 2 characters in a story like this, especially because it's so short and it moves quite fast, that like jumping into some other head was a little bit jarring for me. I just really didn't like this one. I compare it to The Goblin Emperor. It has that type of politics in it where it's just like a little bit more like watching how the wares work. And it just did not work for me. I feel like this sets up the Harper Hall trilogy quite well. Like we have a lot of the Harp Master and the Harper Hall we hear about a couple times, and like the miniature dragons, I'm guessing. So yeah, sadly, didn't love this one, but I will still be continuing the series. I've heard that this is Emma's least favorite in the series, so I'm still excited to continue. I'm excited to see where it goes from now. Obviously with a series that spans so many books, there are going to be some duds in there. Sad that it just happened to be the second book I read, but I loved the first book so much that I hope we get back to that. Anyways, there's that. So my purse has been earned. I have about 12 more hours left in Taterthon, so let's see if I finish the book that I want to read, because it's not the shortest book to ever exist, but here I am. I'm disappointed by dragons, so we're going to read another dragon book and another sequel where the first book I loved the first book in the series. So Flamefall, because Fireborn was also 5 stars. Essentially, this vlog is me reading authors that have previously been given 5 stars and seeing if I like the next book, which we have 2 little sunglasses to choose from. The mini sunglass like this is a new release, and actually this was the guy I wanted just because in this little graphic I think he looks like a door-to-door salesman. I think he's super cute, but I will be going with these like oversized glasses because this is a backlist. So we're gonna put these on my little tater and see if this goes in. No, oh, I need to draw him new eyes because I covered his eyeballs. Oh no, I needed to go higher, but I'm not taking it out yet. But there we go. There's my little dude so that I can read a backlist and read Flamefall. I'm excited about this one. Obviously I read the first book in a recent vlog, in the dragon vlog. The series follows 2 characters who grew up in an orphanage and became friends and are now competing to be dragon riders. And within this series, what happened, and over time they realize that things such as privilege and class are starting to separate them, because our one character is a son of the old regime. He's meant to be a ruler, and our other character is the bottom of the totem pole. And now they are supposed to be on level playing fields, but they're not, because that's not how privilege and stuff works. And we get to see their decisions and choices. Also, there's dragons and a war and an overthrowing of a government that leads to a new regime, and how power corrupts, and a bunch of other amazing conversations within this YA series. So I'm very excited to read the second book. I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. Hopefully I finish it today. I'm only 60 pages into Flamefall, and I'm already obsessed. This Rosaria Munda has somehow managed to expand the nuances that Fireborn had. In Fireborn, we followed our 2 protagonists, and in Flamefall, we get to see a brand new protagonist that happens elsewhere in the world, and it just adds to this beautiful discussion of power and power corruption and privilege and all these other things, and I'm very excited to see where this goes from here. I already have a tab. because at one point we're talking about rebellions. The POV we're in says, dreams are deadliest for the dreamers. And I just think that there's such a heavy conversation on fear and what that does to someone, and the fear to even dream something, which is insane. And I'm already obsessed with what's happening in here. And I already love her new POV. Like, our new POV is insane. Rosaria Munda makes me love characters so well and so quickly. It's incredible. I'm hoping this will be a new favorite series for me. I'm guessing 5 stars right now. 5 stars, I'm calling it. See you in a bit. Hopefully I'm right. Let's see if I can even take a good video. Oh my god, the flash is so bright. But I can't handle this book right now. There's tears coming out of my eyeballs that I've wiped away. But, this book is gonna fucking break me. 216 pages in and I'm already crying. Ugh. Freaking good. It hurts. It hurts so much. It's so good. I'm such an ugly crier. I can't. But I felt like the vlog decided to deserve to see this. I'm not even done. I'm not even 50% in. What is a hob sob when you have a fireborn sob? Oh, fuck. I stayed up till about 3 a.m. last night reading this. It's technically Wednesday now, and I didn't have tabs with me, and it was dark, so the first part of this tabbed, and then for all of you that are gonna hate me, it's just dog-eared like crazy. Anytime there is something that I loved and would have tabbed, I dog-eared it. And words can't express. I loved this. I hate Rosaria Munda so much for the end of this book, but I loved this. This was a 5-star read for me, which Fireborn was a 5-star read also. If we give Fireborn to Lee, Fireborn is Lee's book. Flamefall is Annie's book. Chef's kiss for what Rosaria Munda does to your feelings in these stories. This book, this series in general, handles so much that YA I feel like typically doesn't handle well. We handle grief, there is corruption, there is like just the idea of power corrupting and privilege corrupting. We handle abuse sexually, physically, mentally. We handle how fear and propaganda is done. We handle just like government and how war affects so many people, and how war and the people that suffer in war are the civilians. It's not the people at the top. It's not the people eating their steak dinners while everyone else is starving. So much is handled with such care and feels so real within this series. And on top of that, we just have characters that are beautifully done. They are nuanced characters. They make bad decisions, but they make decisions that you understand. You love them, you hate them, you're cheering for them, you're yelling at them not to do things. You're just involved. Like, they feel like someone that I could walk outside and talk to. I understand who they are so well. If you are looking for a political fantasy, if you're looking for a military fantasy, please check out the Aurelian Cycle. I cannot wait to get to book 3, especially at the end. Everything in me is holding back and trying not to read book 3 because I have other things I need to read right now. But please, 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 please check these out. Now, I'm not going to talk about spoilers at all, but I am going to go into some like more details on my thoughts on this. So, nothing that I think is a spoiler will happen, but I definitely do know that some people are more cautious about spoilers, so I'm gonna let you know to head out right now if you don't want to know anything about Flamefall, but you can leave me some sort of key. I think there must be a key emoji somewhere to let me know you were here. Anyways, Flamefall. Flamefall, 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 Flamefall. As I said, this is Annie's book. Rosaria Munda makes you love Lee so much in the story to then make you feel so frustrated with Lee. I've never felt this way about a character so far, that I was just reading this book and going, what in the world are you doing? You just feel so frustrated. You can't, like, you understand why he's making these decisions, but you're just like, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're stupid, what are you doing? Go, like, Annie has been so supportive of you. She has held your hand knowing the things she knows, and you're just letting people drag her through the dirt. Ugh! I was so angry so many times during this book. This book hurts so good so many times. And then we have Annie, and I think that this is Annie's book because no matter the decisions Annie makes in this, I found myself agreeing with her. She's not making the best decisions ever. Some of them are selfish, some of them are causing people harm. But you understand her decisions so well, and you understand her character so well, and I was just rooting for her. I think she's such a strong female character in this. This is her arc of finding herself, and this is her being herself and realizing the strength she has as the person she is. I was obsessed with Annie's character in this, and also, can I just say, justice for power. Justice for power! Because I freaking love power, and he is such a nuanced character. I don't care what people say, whether you like him or not, because obviously he is an unlikable character in so many ways, but like he's so nuanced and he feels like such a real character. You see so many morally gray moments with him. You see so many like good moments with him. You see a real person. Honestly, all of these characters are real people, but Power is my personal favorite. I'm obsessed with Power, and every scene he's in made me smile. I am Team Power. And then on top of that, we have a new POV in Flamefall. And I opened the book and read the first chapter and said, no, Rosaria Mundo, why are you taking time away from Annie and Lee? I want their story. I love them so much. I don't need another character. Griff is such a good character. He just is so freaking good. Like, his POVs ended up being my favorite POVs in the story. You learn so much through his POVs, and Rosaria Mundo really covers the grass is always greener on the other side, but it really isn't. And in this book, and through Griff, and the things Griff goes through is so heartbreaking, and I just found his chapters particularly very compassionate. Like, I was feeling for him so much, and I hurt for him, and I wanted better for him. I really just hurt in his chapters is what I'm telling you. I really just hurt in all of his chapters, and I loved it for what it is and the conversations that happen in his chapters and what we see of the world, because the world expands so much in Griff's chapters, in everyone's chapters, but there's such an interesting plot in this. This book is about a revolution. This book has a revolution within a revolution. I don't know where the story is going from here. We saw a scene of me crying earlier, and I cried a lot. I cried a lot during this, and my heart just hurts, and I'm just here to tell you, this, same level as this. The conversations, the characters, the feelings for me, same. These are definitely more likable than Rin is, but just this discussion on propaganda and war and brutality and all of that, what I love about the Poppy War, in here too. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I want to reread. I literally was sitting here like, I want to reread so I can annotate the shit out of this. I don't want to reread. I never reread. I'm not a rereader. What is going on with me? What is wrong with me? Oh my lord. But like, please read these. Please. Read these. So fucking good. So good. And I will say, like, for a YA story, we have a YA romance. We have YA characters, but the discussions in this book are like nothing I have ever seen done in YA. Like, nothing has ever come close to what this does for me. And the presentation of it feels like a very adult style, but blended with the YA actually just works so well. I've been talking for 9 minutes. 9 fucking minutes. Oh my god. I think I'm broken. Okay. Anyways, I have nothing else to say. I don't know where my potato is. You saw him earlier. You don't need to see him again. I'm so just distraught about not being able to read the next book right now. Anyways, if you made it all the way to the end of this video to this point, leave me a clover emoji. There's a clover. I know there is. If you want to talk to me about anything, talk to me in the comments down below. go subscribe to Lexi. Thank you, Lexi, for putting on Taterthon. It was so much fun. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon are all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day, and I'm just throwing these around, but please read these. Goodbye.